Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY Boomboxes in Texas. My name is Phil, your host, and this is part 2 of a How to Build a Boombox series that I'm doing with color changing paint. And if you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you go back and watch part 1. You'll see how we begin, and then this is part 2, and we're going to finish it today. Then I'm going to do a separate video for the sound check. But I don't want this video to be too long. I want people to be able to see the sound check without having to watch the whole finishing up video. Well, what do you think, guys? I don't know how well you can see the color shifting paint here. As I move it, it goes from purple to blue. Got a little bit of green in there. And it came out really, really good. Now, the way I painted this was the box was already black. So you want to put the color changing paint down a black base. If you don't have a black box, if it's green, I could just go ahead and put down a flat black and let that dry for at least 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, depending on the paint that you use. Now, the way I did this here was I went ahead and laid down, I think, 3 coats of the color and just did the whole box together. Now, if you're going to do 2 separate colors, you want to split the box and the lid, but I went ahead for the first time and did just all of one color. And then what I did after that, of course, you want to drill your holes first, obviously. You saw that in the first video. After that, I let the paint dry for close to 60 hours. I actually painted this on Tuesday evening, and I didn't put the clear coat on until Friday evening or last night. You want to give the paint at least 50 to 60 hours to dry, because if you don't and you put the clear coat on, for some reason the paint will start to look all alligator and crack and blister up, and I don't know why it does that. But also, you got to use a quality clear. I use the Krylon gloss clear coat. I'm not a real big fan of the Rust-Oleum clear. It's given me some problems in the past, so I try not to use it. The Rust-Oleum also tends to take longer to dry. This here dried about 12 hours. It's still a little bit tacky. I left it with a lot of air circulation with the ceiling fan on all night, and I've had it in front of a fan for a few hours to really get it dry, and it's fairly dry for the most part. I think it came out really, really good. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some assembly, and we're going to start with wrapping the handle. Now, I get a few questions once in a while about how I wrap my handle. I did do it in one video, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again in this video. So what you want to do is you want to take your paracord, and it usually comes in 25 foot or 50 foot lengths or what have you. And this one here, let's see, I went ahead and did about 13 feet, which for me is about two sets of arm lengths, full arm lengths plus a little bit extra. And that way you have a lot of some extra. So what I do, and it doesn't matter which side you start on, so I'm going to start right here. And what you're going to do now, what I also do is I took a cigarette lighter and I melted the ends here down to a point. And the way you do that is light it on fire, get it melting, and then kind of rub it along some plastic or something, kind of form that tip. Be careful, it gets really hot, it will stick to your fingers and burn you. But it takes a little bit of practice. So let's see which end is sharper. I see I like this end better. So we'll take the end you're going to thread with to the side, and then this end over here is going to be your static end. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a loop, and you want to loop it over. Now you don't want too much, so I'm going to pull some of this in. You do want the tip to extend past this a little bit, and you want your loop to go past a little bit as well. So about right there. Well, this paint trips me out. It started from blue to purple as I'm looking at it. It's so wild. So you want to hang off on either end just a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take our end and go ahead and thread it underneath, and just kind of keep this. Nope, darn it, we got a knot in it. So 1 second here. I didn't realize we had I thought I'd gotten all the knots out. I've used this thread before. This is silver paracord we got. Oh, I didn't show you guys. I painted the speaker grills as well, silver. And this is going to be a Mustang theme. These are going to be kind of like the rims. And the silver is also going to be picked up in the silver paracord, because some of the decals I have a lot of chrome and silver on them. You'll see that when we get it done. Alright, let's go ahead and lay this out one more time. Okay, that's looking good. Put these down here. Oh, goodness. Oh, Pete's sake. Alright, let's try this again here. It takes a little practice. I've done this about 30 or 40 times, and I'm still getting the hang of it. So I'm going to pull that in a little bit. And off a little bit up here. Now, we'll take our other end. And we're going to go ahead and try it. Well, darn it. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I think I shot the last video right before Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving was good. And we'll go ahead and put that under there like that. Now we're going to come back around. We're going to go ahead and start the next one. The starting is the hardest part, and once you get a few laps in, it goes pretty quick. So we're going to go ahead and try to lay that on the edge right there. You want to kind of pull it tight a little bit. You can put that back up there. Make sure you're still doing good. And go ahead and thread it again. And just kind of, again, pull it kind of snug. You guys can see that real good. I'm doing this. Let's see if I can bring the camera a little closer. Let's see here. There we go. Alright, you see how I've got it wrapped around like that? Alright, and we're just going to keep going. That takes about 10 or 15 minutes to do this once you get good at it. When you first start, it's a little tricky. Now, here we go. Now this is probably the simplest wrap you can do on a handle. Now there's some more advanced wraps out there that are a lot more elaborate than this, and I'm sure there's some videos that are on YouTube will show you. I actually learned how to do this one from a guy that was wrapping a knife handle, and I like it. It's simple. It does the job. And there's one called a Cobra Weave. Looks really good. Again, you really want to keep it snug as possible. And just keep working up there. And I'm sure there's all kinds of other weaves you can do. Again, I do this one because it's the simplest, it's the easiest. I like the way it looks. I think it looks good. I mean, I could probably learn how to do the other ones, but I just try to keep it simple. I make so many of these things. And trying to get my fingerprints too much in the finish here. Alright. Now this will cause your handle to stand up permanently, so if you don't want it to, you could just wrap this section right here. I do have a gentleman that has asked me to do that on his, so the handle will lay down. But it'll still be somewhat wrapped. Now you get right here and it gets kind of hard to push. You get your little small blade screwdriver. Just be careful not to scratch your paint. You just kind of push it through like that. Alright, I think we've got all the ones we can get underneath. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start going across the top here. So we're not going to go underneath the main. We're going to go underneath the main part now, like this. Get this tape wrapped around here. Now I leave the tape on there. You don't have to. I mean, I mainly put it on there because of the paint. So I can paint, underneath it. And usually the tape will pick up the same color. Now, since this box is kind of bluish, it should hide underneath the paracord fairly good. But like I said, normally your tape will get painted, so you can just leave it on there, and it makes it a lot easier to wrap the handle. And you see how I'm pulling that snug as I'm doing that? Like I said, I've been getting quite a few people asking me. Now, the reason we wrap the handle is because if you don't, and you start cranking your music up kind of loud, the handle has a tendency to rattle, and it sounds quite unpleasant. So anyway, let me, it's right here. I'll show you guys all the way to the top, and then I'll finish it up off camera, but I'll show you how to finish it completely. Like I said, it's just, you know, normally I'll have some music on. Just put some of your favorite music on, or a talk show or something. And just kind of take your time. And just keep rapping. Or sing to yourself, or whistle. I know some people like to whistle. I'm not a whistler. I was thinking the other day about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't whistle. Never. I don't know why. Never been a whistler. Of course, most of the time I have headphones plugged in my ears anyway. I just kind of want this to lay on itself, so kind of just tight and push it down as you go, like that. Just keep wrapping it like that, and just kind of keep it snug. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to pull that tight, and then see, we want to keep these close together because we're going to have it stick out a little bit just like that. As you can see there, we made that transition. So what I want to do is try to center that a little bit, make that look more uniform, as you can see there. Pull that a little tighter, closer together. Kind of wrap that around, and I'm just going to keep going, guys. So what I'm going to do is, when I get close to the end, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on. I'm going to put the camera a little closer. You can see how I finish it up. So let me finish this up, guys, and I'll show you how to tighten it all up once you get to this point right here at the end. So I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, looks like you've joined us here while I was trying to finish this up. It's Mr. Duke here. Say hi, Duke. Really? You can see his big butt here. Alright, Duke, we're going to have to move this camera. So let's see what we can do here. Oops. Let me raise up the camera so I can look down on what I'm doing here. Duke's trying to chew the parrot. Duke, stop that! Alright, let me see if I can get to look down on what I'm doing. Move my chair over just a hair. Thing here. Alright, there we go. Now you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I won't be too much in the picture. Alright, you can see right here we're getting close to finishing, so we're going to go ahead and fish that into there. Like that. Again, same process as on the other side, just kind of push it back as you can. And keep that little tail straight. So we can get a couple more under there. Oh, come on now, I was trying to mess up over here. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any more into there or not. We'll see. Try to get one more, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't want to scratch the... There we go. Alright, we got one more strand over there. Okay, now what you want to do is take this, pull it tight, see your loop right here? You're going to feed that through the loop and pull it tight. And then what you're going to do is this end over here, you can see that. Jump up, check the camera. Okay. This end right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pair of, you don't know, it's pliers, if I can find the darn things. And I'm going to pull on this end right here. And as I do, that's going to pull that loop in just like that. See how it sucked that in? Yeah, pull it snug. Alright, now what you want to do is you got two ends hanging off. So you want to take an X-Acto knife and go ahead and trim, or razor blade. Trim that off flush. Fluff off of here. And you want to trim that piece off flush. And there you go. So there's fluff off of there. Alright, there's the paracord handle. Looks really good. Alright everybody, let me get set up for the next operation. So give me a few minutes, or it'll be instantaneous for you guys, and I'll be right back. Okay everybody, I'm back, and let me show you what we're going to do first. We're going to put our box together. So let me see if you can see that hole right there. We're going to put our connector to plug in our battery charger. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is our battery charger right here. There's a little connector that goes on it, and of course our battery. So we're going to need something to hook it up. So we're going to use this little connector right there. So what we need to do first though is we need to go ahead and get some wires and get tin put on them. So let's go ahead and get some red and some black. Let's go ahead and get my wire cutters, wire strippers. And that should be enough right there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and... Now it's a good idea to use different colored wires for different things. I mean, I've seen people use all one color, that's fine, but if you have a problem you're trying to find or short, it makes it really difficult. So you can get wire from Amazon. You get 4 different colors for about $18, 100 feet, which is more than enough. 18. Also, I use 18 gauge on these builds. It's all you need. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this clamp. Make sure you can see that on the camera. Yep, right there. Go ahead and clamp these together. What we're going to do is what's called tinning the wire, and it means I'm putting solder on the wire, and it's going to make the solder stick a whole lot better, because solder will stick to solder. So we're also going to tin these once it's inside the box. So now you can use a soldering iron or a soldering gun. I'm using a soldering gun right now because this is the only soldering I'm doing on this particular project. That makes things go a whole lot easier. So go ahead and heat this up. There we go. Go ahead and put some solder on that. A little too much, but go ahead and put some solder on this. Come on now. There we go. 25-year-old soldering iron, but it still works. Alright. What we're going to do is, let me go ahead and pull the camera back just a little bit here. Wrong way. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Alright. Alright, we're going to take our... Oh, we need to plug in our glue gun. You're going to need a glue gun for this. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my glue gun in. Let it start heating up. Now what I like to do is I like to hide the charging port here under the handle. It just gets it out of the way, less of a chance of getting damaged. And we're going to go ahead and put the nut on there and try to thread it on. These plastic threads sometimes can be a pain. There we go. This one's actually on really nice. Now, people have asked me, why do you solder the wires? Why don't you solder them before you put them in there? Well, I could, but you got this nice, hole right here. You put your hand through and you go through the top. And it's easier to get the nut on there. All right, now what are you guys looking at? Here we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and put some solder on the connector right here. Alright, go ahead and do the other side here. Okay. Now I've still got my finger on the trigger. Now on these connectors here, the short terminal is your positive, or your hot side. And solder that on there. Okay. Come on, baby, stick. Oh, come on, it almost stuck. There we go. Go ahead and get the negative side. There you go. Alright, this is our hot and ground coming in, and that's going to be when I plug the soldering gun since we don't need it anymore. That's the only soldering you really got to do on these simple ones here. So go ahead and roll this up. Put that away. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and install our battery. So let's go ahead and get our battery out. And this is our battery right here, our battery charger. Lithium-ion battery. Throw the box away. Don't need it. And I like to mount it with the switch facing up. That way you can turn it on and off. So go ahead and get some Velcro. Now I like to use the indoor-outdoor Velcro. It's all knotted up right now, as usual. So we'll go ahead. It comes split, and I usually put it together but I kind of got lazy this time. So we'll go ahead and get me some put together here. Alright, now we're going to take our, use my side cutters. I have a pair of scissors, but I can't seem to, oh, there's my, are those my scissors? Yeah. We'll go ahead and measure. We'll put one across here and one across here. So go ahead and kind of measure it with your thumb there. Cut your Velcro. And we'll go ahead and take another strip here. Cut it. Now this is indoor-outdoor Velcro industrial strength, and it's the best way to secure your batteries. We'll go ahead and peel off the sticky side on one side. And go ahead and put it right there. I need to get my water. Go ahead and peel off the. Sometimes these can be a little bit tricky. Peel off the plastic there. Alright, now we're going to put that on there. Now let's go ahead and do a test fit of where we want it. So we're going to put it about right there. Good place to mount our battery, excuse me. Well, actually we can put it right in the middle because we don't have, normally I have the connections coming down, but they're actually over here. So we can go ahead and mount our battery right there. So let's go ahead and put it right there in the middle. Kind of distributes the weight a little bit. So we'll go ahead and peel this off. Now I know some of you out there are not going to want to build your own box after you see this, and that's perfectly okay to pay somebody to build it, because it does take a lot of investment and tools, and you do have to have a little bit of electronic skills. But if you're up to the challenge, I hope this video will be helpful and giving you some idea of where to start and how to get going. So, alright, we'll go ahead and plop our battery down right there. Now again, the reason I do this is because you don't want to have your switch on all the time. Now I'm going to have a main power switch over here, but you want to turn off the battery if you're not going to use it for about 12 or 14 hours, because the battery will drain down after a while. So, got that installed. Now what we're going to hook up our battery is we have these little pigtails right here that I got. So I'm going to go ahead and find my wire cutter. I'm going to go ahead and trim the ends off so I can strip it kind of long. And again, it's nice to have a trash can right there at the end of your thing. I'll go ahead and split them. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and strip these a little bit long. I'll show you why in just a second. Now, we're also going to take these here. Now there's two different ways you can hook these up. I'm going to show you two different ways. So, one way is to use these connectors that you slide the wire underneath and you close it down and they all come together. I'm going to use those in a minute because I'm going to show you both ways to do it. So I'm going to show you the way to do it with wire nuts. So we've got our yellow wire nuts. Now what we need though is we need two more wires. They don't have to be very long. So we'll say about yay long. And what we're going to do is we're going to strip one end a little bit short. I'll show you why in a minute. And the other end we're going to strip a little bit longer. Because what we're going to do is we're going to tie these wires together with wire nuts. We're going to tie the grounds together and the positive together. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to take our positives. So we have three positives. And what we're going to do is we're going to twist those together. And then we're going to take a wire nut and secure those together like that. Now you have your ground. So we're going to take our grounds, our negative side, and we're going to twist those together. And we're going to put wire nuts on those. Now what this does is this connects the battery. And we're going to go ahead and plug the battery in. So now the battery and the charging connector are connected, but now you have your positive and your negative outputs coming from the battery. So what we're going to do with the positive side is we're going to take an F connector and we're going to put an F connector there on the end. That's why we cut it so short, and that one's a little bit goofy there. Let's go ahead and put that on there. Now, go ahead and take, you're going to need a crimper. Now, you don't have to have a fancy one like this one. You can get a $10 crimper from the auto parts store. This one was a little bit more. This is a professional crimper. And there's your F connector. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take another short red wire. We're going to go ahead and cut one end long, or a little bit long. And we're going to cut the other end a little short to fit on the connector. And you only want to do about 1/8 of an inch, like that, to get your, oops, there it goes. To put your F connector on there like that. If you guys can see that on camera. And then we're going to go ahead and crimp that down. Now the reason we did that is this is going to give us a place for a fuse. So instead of buying one of those fancy fuse holders, all you have to do is just take an F connector, plug it in like that. Plug it in like that, and now you got a fuse holder. You don't have to buy a separate fuse holder and put it in your thing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this connector here, and I'm opening up 4 sides because we're going to have, actually I only need to open 3 because we're going to have the two switches coming in. So this is the hot coming, a positive coming from the switch. goes in right there. We're going to have one positive to one switch and one positive to the other switch. So we're going to do the same thing for the ground. Like I said, these connectors are fantastic. You can get them in 3, 4, and 5 locks. I just go ahead and order the 5 because it just gives me more adaptability. So we'll go ahead and put the ground in here. Now all of our grounds are going to go to here. So let's go ahead and move this in the center. Now what I want to do is I'd like to go ahead and put this in here and screw the holes. Get the plate screwed down. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put in the hole like that, and we're going to go ahead and put the thing on there like that. And now before we do that though, actually I'm going to put my switches in. So let's go ahead and now you want the LED to be in the down position, and we'll go ahead and pop that in like that, and let's see, we'll go ahead and just pop in just like that. Go ahead and line them up a little bit. All right, our switches are in. Now, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and put the connectors on here for the switches before we hook up the other ones here so we can see them a little bit better. So let me raise the camera up so you guys can really see what I'm doing here. Let me see here. Hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. Now, we're going to show you what I'm doing here. Each switch has 3 connections. You got one brass, which is your ground. Then you got 2 positive. Doesn't matter which positive. One of them is going to get positive from the battery source, and the second positive, which I usually go with the middle, is going to go to switch your item, which in this case, this one's going to switch the amp, and the other switch is going to switch the voltmeter and connector. So we're going to go ahead and wire those up real quick. So what you want to do is we're going to need a red wire going from here to the switch. Actually 2 red wires. So let's kind of go ahead and eyeball that. There's one, and we'll go ahead and do another one. Now you don't have to do red, you can do any colors you like, just as long as you remember what color represents what. So go ahead and cut about 1 inch off of one side going to the hot connection, and then for the switch itself we're going to go ahead and cut about 1/8 of an inch off each side. That was a little bit longer, usually would, but and I go ahead and twist these up just to make sure they're nice and tight. Go ahead and get your F connectors. I got plenty. I buy these by 50 and 100 because I go through so many of them. I probably use 15 or 20 of them on a bill. Well, there goes the wire for that one. Let's shove this wire up in here. Crank it down. Get the other wire. Go ahead and put it on there and crank it down. Now we're going to go ahead and plug it into the bottom terminal, which is the chrome terminal. And again, I wish you guys could see this better. I apologize. But basically all I'm doing is just I'm plugging into this terminal right here, which is the top, in this case the bottom chrome terminal, which is the hot side. So the next one I'm going to do, now also we're going to go ahead and connect the wires to our positive connection right here. So 1, Go ahead and straighten that up a little bit. One goes in there. And the other one, let's see here, goes in there. Now your hots are connected. Now, this whole time our glue gun was heating up, well, I want to put some hot glue over these two exposed terminals. So let me go ahead and hot glue on that. And what that does, that insulates those connectors. That way something can't bounce around in there and short something out. Alright, now let's go ahead and get our amp ready to install. So what we're going to need to do to do that is we're going to go ahead and get our speaker wires. So let me get the speaker wires and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, let's get ready to hook up the connections here, and let me go ahead and see if y'all can see that. Okay. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hook this switch to these connections here and the ground. So we're going to go ahead, and normally these come with pigtails, but for some reason these didn't. So let's go ahead and a couple of white wires. They don't have to be very long. And we're going to go ahead and put connectors on to the ends here. So let's go ahead and then we'll go ahead and strip the other end a little bit long, maybe about an inch. Alright. Try to get this video done sometime today and hopefully get it up. Because I'm going to do the sound check as soon as this video is done. Make that a little bit longer. Okay, let's go ahead and get our connectors on there. Put our connectors on here. It's kind of fun to watch these boxes come together sometime. I kind of call it a box being born. And then you actually get to hear them play their first notes. Okay, we're going to put these on the positive side like that. And we're going to put them on the, let's see which one's the positive here. I guess that's the positive side right there. Alright, we're going to do the same with the negative, so we'll go ahead and get a couple of blue wires. We're going to do the same thing. So what we're basically going to be doing is wiring the positive and the negatives together, and then running everything back to the central there. So we'll go ahead and strip these about it's a little bit long. Trim that a little bit. I know Christmas is coming. I hope everybody's looking forward to a good Christmas. I've actually got quite a few orders to fill. I've got 5 right now, counting this one that I'm working on. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and, oh goodness, lost the wire there. Alright, let's try this again. Slip that into there. Crimp that down. Go ahead and do the other one. Now when you first do your first box, it's going to take you a while, so just take your time. You know, I've done over 100 of these, so I make it look really easy. Because, you know, but the main thing is, if you're going to do more than one, kind of keep everything consistent and do the same thing over and over as far as the way you do your wiring and everything, and that'll make it so much easier. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our ground wires like this. I'm going to go ahead and hook the grounds up first. We're going to get one more short ground wire here. And a connector. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to tie all the grounds together and then have one ground come over to the connections here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ground on that switch there. Okay. Now we need one more blue wire. It's going to be about yay long. Alright. And we don't need to worry about putting a connector on this one. So you want to cut this one about an inch long on each side. So what we're going to do now is we got 1, 2, 3. We need to put a connection on there. And since we got 4 wires, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these connectors right here. Go ahead and get it ready. So we're going to have 1. Go ahead and twist that up, make sure it'll go in there nice and tight. 2. We got the one coming from the switch. Twist that up. Just 3. Also, I wanted to say I've got 515 subscribers now, so I appreciate that. I'm just disappointed I've only got about 50 views on the first video I did. I thought I'd have at least 100 by now. So you guys, please tell your friends and family. Alright, let's see, we got all our grounds tied together. Now we're going to go ahead and tie those in to the ground wire we have over here. Now I know this looks like spaghetti right now, but we're going to tie everything up once we're done. Okay. Put that down. Okay, all the grounds are now tied together and hooked up. The only thing we have left to do is we take our hot wire right here, and we take our 2 hot wires. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tie these together with a wire nut. And so we're going to go ahead and twist those together and go ahead and put a wire nut on there like that. And that's it. Okay. All the wiring is essentially done. Again, it looks like spaghetti. We're going to tie all this up. So now what we need to do is just install our speakers, and we'll be ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our mat and lay it down so we don't scratch our paint. And we're going to go ahead and set this right here, and we're going to go ahead and put this stuff away since we don't need it right now. And let's go ahead and go get our speakers real quick. Just a second here. Alright, got our Tigger speakers still in the box, and what we're going to do is we're going to lay out our holes, our screw holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just temporarily put our speakers in there. Now why are you not going in like that? I don't know. Let me fool around with that. Okay, everybody, this concludes part 2 of this video. I didn't want to go any further right now because I'm trying to keep these videos under an hour, because if I go over an hour, they don't like to load to my phone, and I have to use my computer and actually take my computer somewhere to upload them because the internet at my home sucks. So thank you so much for watching. Part 3 is coming up very soon, about a week. We're going to install the speaker grills and drill the holes out for those, and we're going to go ahead and apply the decals to the box itself, and we're going to do a sound check. So thank you so much for that. Keep watching. Got some other projects that might come up in the middle in the meantime. I got 5 projects going on right now. So some great exciting things. So please hit that subscribe button. And also please check us out on Facebook at I Love All Things Radio. That's my Facebook group. It's called I Love All Things Radio. Thanks for watching. See you next time.